G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru. Welcome to my video. I'll just put the size of the canvas up there, what I'm using, and also the colours will be going up the screen. They're the colours I've got available that I'm going to use in this painting. If you don't have the same colours, just find something very similar. In this video, I'm going to show you just what you can paint. Now, there will be a traceable for this. It's a horse. Now, there's several ways you can put this onto your canvas. If you have a dark background, it's going to be quite tricky to get a traceable onto a dark background without seeing your outline. So this is going to be a dark background. What I've done, there's my canvas cloth actually. I've put that on there. As you can see, I've put it up against the window, scribbled the pencil line on there, put it against the canvas where it needs to be, and I used red pen to outline it, okay? Once I outlined it, I simply put the masking tape over it and scalpeled the edge through. That's one way you can do it. That's the way I'm going to do it in this video because it's going to be quite a dark background. And once the background's blended and painted and whatnot, I can pull this off and bring that horse in front. All right, so let's go. Now I want to say a big thank you to With Dark Shades for this reference picture. It's a horse just standing in a dark forest, some light's going to be coming through, but the layout of it in a beautiful framed painting would make a beautiful art piece for your wall. So what I want to do now, as I said, I've got my horse masked up. I'm going to get my background in. I will be blending some background colours, so I've got some soft craft white paint. It's just titanium white, and I want to mix some retarder with that so as that'll take a long time to dry. It'll slow down the drying time, and I want to just prime in the whole canvas with this. So I'm just going to crisscross this soft titanium white over the whole canvas. Let's get it over my horsey there. Now I come to the tip of the paintbrush, and I'm just going to stroke that left and right and get the white paint that's on there a nice thin even surface. Now down here I have some cerulean blue. I want the blue very light and I'll make it darker down the bottom, so I'll pick this up in my putter on a brush. I've got another putter on a brush here, and I want this area here a lot lighter, so I'll do that later. I want to crisscross this in. I'll leave that light bit open first, you'll see why. And this is going to, there's my horizon line about there, okay? So this is going to come roughly to there. Just crisscross it on. You can bring it down to the bottom if you want, because that's going to be darker anyway. Now what I want to do is just stroke this left and right and get it to the values that I'm after. I'm not worried if I lose that white bit there. I left that there so you can see what's going on in my mind, but I will put that back. Now I have this light blue pretty much over the whole canvas there. I'm simply just going to wipe that brush and pick up the darker blue, which is phthalo blue, and this will be the bottom area. And this is still going to be added some darker values within this as well. So I want to get this crisscrossed on, pick up some more, crisscross it to about, there's my horizon line there, okay. Get some more, bring it to the horizon line roughly. There we go. Now I'm going to stroke that left and right, just like the top half. And then I'll let it fade into the, on the angle you want, there we go. Now this, I want some of this value in here now. So what I want to do is bring it around like so. I'm coming around like a bowl type. Just like that with the phthalo blue. It's darker than the cerulean. And once again, I'll just wipe the build up off that, just so you can control those edges right across, right across, right across. And now our horizon line is sort of faded. That's beautiful. It's exactly what I was looking for. I manage the darker and the light values of shading by crossing it and then stroking it again, instead of just hoping for the best. See here, I'll push it, manipulate it. and then go back left and right like a pure gentleman. Okay, what I have here now is some dioxine purple. We're going to get our darker values stamped in there. Now this one, I'll show you what I do here. There's my ground. I want this bit. So what I'll do, so I can control it, I'm going to stamp it on the way I want it. Pick up some more. It's going to sort of fade here, stamping it on. It's going to mix with the blue. And nice and dark down the bottom. Turn my brush upside down because it's on my canvas there. I can't reach it. There we go. We've got a lot of dark there. Now what I'm going to do is simply come to the tip of the brush. I'm going to wipe it. There's a lot building up there because I still want some of that blue radiating back into here. So I don't want to kill that. I've wiped the brush. I'm getting some of that right down the bottom there. Fading it now into that blue. There we go, look at that. I'm getting that gradient vibe happening there. Now I need some brown in there because it's too purple. What I will do is get the slightest, some darker areas, just hang it on my brush first, just crisscross it in like tree stuff like that, leaving that blue hoop that we put there. And I want to get some of this just like that. You can grab a blending brush and blend that into that area there. Just blend it. Doesn't have to be controlled because we're going to put detail over this. So blending this into that blue there. We might even get a bit of this just tracing down there like that. Just tracing down there like that. And the blending is what makes the magic happen. Now that craft paint you saw me put on in the beginning is allowing this to happen. See, I'm wiping there and I put a big blob there. So what I've done, I've just done this and put it back. Control what you're doing. Don't just hope for the best. Practice, learn, control. Common sense will tell you what you need to do as well. I need a little bit more, I feel. Probably maybe just about here dancing. Just there, just like that. Wipe the blending brush. I don't care if this has got whirly bits because we're going to add some trees later. Remember I said I want that to be brighter. Okay. I have some permanent alizarin and I've got my burnt umber, so I want to grab some of that permanent alizarin and put into there just to warm it up a bit, just to get some of this mixing with the front ground there. That's it, because I want this to be going over that purple colour. And now we want to radiate this through our ground. I want a bit lighter here, so I'm bringing all this darker here. This just adds more elements of colour, professionalism to your beginner's art instead of just one basic plain colour, okay? Let's just go to the tip of the brush and see if we can push that in like so. I'm pushing it more and more, controlling the push as I go just to see where I want with it. That's looking good. Now just to glare this a little bit brighter than what it is, I'm going to grab some of the craft white without the retarder in it, just put it into a pouncer there. I'll get a bit of that to wet it up a little bit, not too much. And now I'm going to just concentrate on that brighter area there. I want this to mix with the blue, so I'll get it all the way up there, just about there. There we go, do that. Grab a blending brush and just softly grind that into the blue so it's a light blue. I'm grinding it. See, I'm turning that white away into a light blue. Now I'm going to wipe the brush and now I want to blend these away down into the painting there, just like that. and we have a nice glow there. Okay, I've given that a dry. I don't want to press too heavy because it's not 100% dry, but it's dry enough for me to start stamping everything on without it mudding up. Now we want a bit, see this blue, the blue and the purpley vibe? We just want that sort of colour to make our impressions of trees in the background. So I've given all this a bit of a spray, and I'm going to grab, I don't know, let's say I'll wet my brush first. I'll grab some of the cerulean blue and the phthalo blue there. Now I want to leave the opening there, so I want to create trees there. So I'll come wherever I feel they are. I love using the filbert for this, and I'm just going to, I do want some little windows down here as well, so I'm just going to create a vibe. Okay, I'll come over here and I'll do these ones here. So what I've gone and done, I mixed up some of the cerulean blue with a little bit of the dioxazine just to get this vibe coming in, and we're going to sit that light source that we created up there with the pouncer, we're going to sit it back. Just like so, and this is going to create the whole vibe of the painting. Now I want some windows like I said down here, then I will solidly it up, if that makes sense, make it more solider. Just so you know what I'm thinking, because there's going to be some trunks here, I want the canopy mainly up this area. I'm not going to bring it all the way down, okay? So I'm just gingerly making my way through the canvas, getting the canopies roughly about maybe, let's say this high here, about there. Feather them through, gingerly feather them through like that with the, so you're not blending, but you're pacing these through your canvas in a way that you've got heavier ones where you want them, and see how I faded all that away just with the padding of the filbert brush there. Foliage on some of these lower ones. When I put the trunks in, you'll see. So it's always good to watch my videos just so you know why I'm doing what I'm doing, because if you watch it just once, you'll be sort of confused, why is he doing that? But once you watch it the whole way through, you get a grasp of why I was doing that when you're watching it the second and third time. And the more times you watch it, the more little things you pick up. See, I've scattered that throughout the foliage there. Now that colour I put on, I want to join them to the ground with the same colour trunks in the background. So I'm going to use a dagger brush here, and I'm going to use the same colour. You want it inky enough so it's going to glide off your brush and transfer onto your canvas. You can use some kind of stick to lean on if you want, and we pretty much want to get some sort of trunks in the background here like so. I'll come right off there for now. I don't know where I'm going here yet. Get that one there. Now the good thing with trunks, distant ones, see here how I've got that one there. Put something right next to it, nice and straight. Make the bottoms different heights. Don't have all the bottoms the one height, the one level. You want them up and down so they kind of got perspective and distance from each other. Some of them are skinny. Now I've dried the canvas so it'll stick. I want this one about there, because we're going to have darker ones in front of this. Now I want some all the way up here, coming down. I better chisel me brush so I can get some nice thin ones. It can come through the horse because the horse is masked up. Okay, I'll give that another light dry. We've going to get a darker colour now to bring the next stuff more forward. So in doing that, I've got the dioxazine purple and the cerulean blue, and I'll mix them together a lot darker. We can probably see if there's a bit of this permanent alizarin left that'll darken it up, that'll warm it up. Now I want to bring, where are we? We're going to have some pushing here. Look how dark these are. Just sort of coming off the painting in front. Any bits that you don't like, try and get them the shape you want. Any bits you don't like, cover up with this. Here, from above, somewhere here. Just in front of this first colour we put on, and this will stick out because it's more forward. So we got something there, and I want to dribble it in front of there. Come over here a bit. Play with it, practice every procedure. All your art journey, believe it or not, is a practicing procedure. It's very rare you get the fun to put it onto a canvas. Some beginners seem to think, I want to learn to paint and I'm just going to start painting on a canvas, but you've got to do all the practicing first for that canvas part to work. This is kind of from the top hanging into the picture there. Very simple to do this with a filbert brush, a flat filbert. See how I've done them? Make sure they're not all airy, skinny. Put some heavier blobs there. Analyse. It's important to analyse your work. You find stuff like that and you're able to fix it. So when you're sitting back looking at your painting, you realise you did a well job, because sometimes we've done paintings and we look at it and think, oh my goodness, what have I done there? But a lot of that is to do with because you just simply didn't analyse. And then it's up to you to carry your journey on with your habits and ways. Now down here I grabbed some burnt umber and my dioxazine purple, and I've bled some of that burnt umber into there. We'll put a base of a tree about there, and this is going to simply come right off the painting straight up there. So I want to get this coming down, controlling it. I'm going to block it in later. I'm just using this filbert to try and get it where I want without it looking too amateurish. I want the edge nice and sharp, but it's got nodes sticking out of it. Okay, just like that. Getting the nodes there. You want it pretty much the same uniform thickness all the way down, but it can be wobbly and blonky and woody and nodey and whatnot, so long as there's not a, see how it's looking at the moment, it's quite thick there but quite narrow there. So my mind's telling me to fix that up, so I'm going to fix that up just by bringing it down to that wideness. Coming over this side, we're going to have some leaning right off the painting, coming right off the painting there. Where's my tape? Oh, there's my tape. That's right on the tape, so I better be aware of that. Now, if this is your first time watching my video and you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe. Here, and I want to bring something bowing from there. I'll get it in there, then I'll sharpen the edges off camera, but you get a gist of what I'm doing. So it's pretty much that skinny. Get the bottom of that reasonably level. I think the bottom of that's a little bit too fat for what I wanted, and I want another bit just forking off that thick base there. Bring it in, there we go. One coming right off to there. Right behind that one. And maybe another one, not so fat, coming down here. Oh, I'll have it a bit fatter than that, but and I want this one that I'm putting on now a little bit lighter as well. So I've just put a bit of white in the mix, just to get him a bit lighter. I'm getting some of the lighter colour there, that purple, and this big one in the front. I just want to kind of break the nodes up in that, so I'm going to quickly put them on. That tree's wet, that's why I'm doing it this way, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'll just put that on there, wipe all the paint off that brush, and then just scrumble that into that darker colour, leaving the vibrancy of some of that there. Any brush will do. Your artistic mind will tell you what's going to work for you, and it's just giving that tree a bit more dimension. Now we have the foreground here with these colours. I want to grab some of that, like the burnt umber, mainly the burnt umber, because I want probably some, you know, some sticks on the ground. So I'll get a nice blob there, just some bits of debris on the ground. So what I'm going to do, I'll make it like that. They're just like bits of tree, bits of wood, and all sorts of bits and bobs. There's even like a, I'll get some of this on the ground there, like that, because then I want to get the ground where you want it kissing, like this. I'll show you what I'm going to do. It looks a bit harsh, but it's not really going to be by the time I finish it. Watch what I do here. I've put that there. That colour is still wet. I'm picking up some white, putting into the brush, and I'll wipe it up here. And I want to scrumble that away from that dark colour down here, getting some white in between what I want to put on next. Well, not white, but a lighter colour, lighter value of that. So here we go. Oh, the wind's blowing now. It's going to have a storm tonight here where I am. There we go. Want a nice sort of something in front of that, like this. Boom, come right off the painting there. It's just a log or something. Bit of a log there. We can have a log coming from here on the ground somewhere, behind the horse's feet there. And when we highlight all this junk, where's his feet about there? So we'll put bits of crap here as well. When we highlight all this junk, it's going to look the part, and put the darks where it's got to go. Make sure they're quite solid, and there, don't get too haphazard and go just willy-nilly like that. And there's just going to be just lots of debris and bark and crumbs and stuff all over the floor here. And before I detail that, I just want to show you how I'm going to highlight it. Getting the cerulean blue with a bit of white in there. And these bits and bobs that we just put in there, we'll just simply highlight the tops of them. Let's start off this one here. Right on the very edge of it. Now if it's too bright, just darken that value up a bit. About there like that. It's just bits of wood, so bits of barky stuff, but all the tops of it have got light on it from the light above. So you know the principle, you do your pebbles and stones in lakes, same principle, we're just sort of putting our lights and darks where they've got to go. This one here has quite a bit of light scratching through it like so. Just want to have a look. Yeah, and it's making them kind of belong. They're not just there. Get it right to the edge of it. And the dagger brush helps with this. So leave the darkness there, and then we'll put the light here, coming like that. So I'll grab the darker colour again and just simply put it back. All right, we can give that a dry, have a cup of tea, have a sandwich, whatever. I want to get the masking tape off. There we go. The paint's still wet. Now we're simply going to block this horse in a dark colour. Now the dark colour, whether it's a browny black, a purpley brown, purpley black, whatever, do 3 values of that colour, a light, medium and a dark. And we're going to block it in with the medium value. So I will start with the burnt umber and black. That's the colour I want. I want a blacky brown. Okay, so I'm going to mix up the value that I want, which is my blacky brown, which is there. This will be the medium colour. I'll get a bit more of that in there. So I've got burnt umber and black. That's my medium colour. Now I do want to mix up a lighter value of that. So I'll have the 3 values here. So I'll get all that in there. I'm just going to grab some white, which is here, and I'll just a slight lighter value, not too much because it's in silhouette still. We just want the slight value in there. There we go. And then I'll mix up the darker one later. Now see the edge, it's a bit torn, paint's bled through, so concentrate on the edge. This dagger brush is great for blocking in. You can get round corners, round edges and sharp little pointy bits with it. So I'm simply going to block it in. Now you can see this background behind this horse. If I painted it all first and tried to transfer the horse onto that, it would have been a bit awkward seeing your lines. So that's why I chose to do it this way. Make sure you get all the edges of the white blocked away, because if you leave any of that there, it's just going to devalue your piece of paint, your painting. For those who are wondering where his tail was, it's kind of behind him, but we want it hairy and just sort of coming down his leg there. And he's probably got some mane hair just sort of sticking up there as well. You can kind of scallop some of that up there if you want. Now I've dried him. I'm just going to kind of get a slight shadow of his feet there, so when I put the white lighter colour there, it'll stand out so it's not floating. Just a slightest shadow there, see? Now I want to grab the darker black mixed with some of that colour. I'm just mixing some black with there. And now just simply, I want to emulate his muscles and that. So I'm just sort of, well, that's too black. So I want to go back to the bit with more brown in it. There we go. And just under here, just kind of create shadow under his neck. Because if anything, light's coming from the top. We've got that big cheek there that horses have. Under his neck there like that. Under his belly, so all the way along here is darker. A bit of muscle out there. Now, by all means, you can leave yours just the one value. And now we've got, there's another foot there and another leg, so we're going to kind of make that there as well. Now this leg is behind his belly, so we're going to come under there and just kind of shadow that a bit. There, of his hair coming down. The shadow area of his hair. Just like that. There we go. And then we'll just put the slightest light. I'll just turn the light up a bit on the camera. We'll put the slightest light areas in there now just to make it. So that lighter brown that we mixed up, we're going to start using this now. So horses have a main... Well, it's too much on my brush. I think I'm wiping some of it. I know they always have this big gut. Let's try and emulate that gut there. Bring it around with some light. Don't have much on your brush, see? Something there. Bit down his leg. Just very minimal, very minimal. Where's that muscle there? They have those muscles at the front there. I know that they always have this big, like they've got a ball of bubble gum in their mouth there. There, we'll get some kind of light down here, adding contours to his face. See, I've just put that up on the board there and I'm wiping it off. We'll get a bit here. Just keep playing with it, squint your eyes a little bit. Maybe some on this leg here coming down there, just to emulate that muscle. And then to get that leg behind, there we go. Now we want a lot brighter for I'll get some on the edge of the tail first. For his hoofs, okay. We'll get a bit of his neck vibing up there as well. What else do we need? Maybe a nice shiny bit there. Now I'm going to just add a lot more white to that paint because I want to get his hoofs and just make them lighter value. Leaving that shadow I put there before. And it's just a detailed silhouette. Now there is another hoof behind there, and there's this one in front of it there. I'm just going to sign this, then we'll whack a frame on it. And thank you for watching my video. If you want to support my content, hit the join button below and become a member of my YouTube channel. And there's also a Patreon link there. You can support me on Patreon. Just helps my channel paddling along. All right, we'll see how that looks. Yeah, that's not too shabby, is it? We've got a solo stance of a horse in the forest there. It's got some kind of artistic vibe about it. And I know you can do it. Well, I had a lot of fun doing that. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tell your friends if you like what I'm doing, but if you don't, you tell everybody. Check out this other video of mine as well. Goodbye, good luck, and good on you.